In this video, we're going to focus on creating a half donut chart in React ChartJS in ChartJS 4. So let's start to look how to do this. So let's start to look how we can create our React half donut chart in ChartJS 4. First of all, we have our file here, it's the Doughnut chart.js, and in here we're going to first put in the import of React because we want to import the React features from, and then we're going to say here React. There we are. Then what we want to do is we want to say import all the Doughnut options from ChartJS, and then we say here from specifically React-ChartJS number 2. So once we did that, we can start to import the specific components from ChartJS. So we're going to say import, then we're going to say chart as chart.js, comma, then we're going to say here the arc element, and the reason why is because those are the shapes for the donut chart or pie chart. If we want the tooltip, we can put it in there. If we want the legend, we can add it in there, and I think that is more than enough. We don't need any scale here. So we're going to say from, and then say here chart.js. Once we did that, we want to register all these items because they're right now loaded but not yet activated or registered. So we say chart.js, we just get basically this because we changed the name from chart to this, and then we're going to say here dot register, and then what we're going to register is all these items here above with the exception of this. Just put them all in there. Once we did that, we're good to go. What we want to do now is create the constant. I'm going to say here this constant will be our donut chart, and this is our functional component. So what we're going to do now is start working on here. So we need a few items here. First of all, if we want to put in here, we need the data of a chart. It's a standard procedure, so it's a constant data. And then in here, I'm going to use some tricks to create a nice, later on, there will be a continuation of this video, but I'll be using some tricks as well. So as I continue, just follow along. So what I'm going to say here, I want to have one here will be a show, and the other one I want to hide, and later on I'm going to show you how we're going to hide that. So then what I want to have here is the data set. So we only have one single data set here, and then in here, this is an array, we're going to put in here the item, and then let's see what's going on here. I'm getting an error. I guess we can just remove one of this. That's too many. Alright, so within here, what I want to do here is for the data sets, I'm going to put in the label, and this will be just shop1. Very straightforward. Then what I have here is the data, and the data will be number 3 and number 6. However, the number 6, that will be the arc that we want to hide, and the arc is just basically the pie slice what I'm referring to, because these are called arc elements. So what I'm going to do here for the background color, here, we need to say color, and I'm going to use here, first of all, is the React color, React blue, so 61, and then dbfv, and then we have another one here. I'll just make this black for now, and later on I will change the color of that. Next we have the border color. To make it very simple, I'm just going to grab the same color values as above, so we will not have any distinction on that. And then finally here, well, we just leave it for now. Once we did this, we're done here. What can we do more? We want to have the options as well, so we're going just down here, let's say here constant options, and then in here for now I'll just leave it blank, and later on we're going to play around with that. So next I'm going to say here return, and what do I want to return? I want to return basically a div, and within this div we're going to have here the donut chart. So I'm going to say here, and then what I want to do here is, of course, we have the data equals the data which we just created here. That's so basically this is the prop, and this is the data constant or object. We have another one as well for the options, where you can say here for the options will be equal to options. Very straightforward. Once we did that, let's see, this is all fine. All right, let's make sure that this here is a closing item as well, and then we're going to say here slash Doughnut. There we are. Make sure this is all closed, save. So once we did this, we're done here, but of course what we need to do here is the following. We want to export this file. So we're going to say export by default, or export default, the Doughnut chart. And I give it the Doughnut chart because I will make it consistent with our chart or the file name. So once I did this, semicolon here, save that. Of course, nothing happens yet, because what do we need to do now is to import that specific file. So I'm going to say here import, and what I want to import here is the Doughnut chart from ./Doughnut chart. So save that. Alright, nothing happens yet because we need to now add up the functional component here. So what is our functional component? Well, basically it is the Doughnut chart name. So what I'm going to do is copy this. I'm going to say here, what we have to do here is to return that one. Let's make this a div first. So we have a div in here. And then we're going to say here will be the Doughnut chart tag. Put that in there. Slash that. Save that. Alright, now we get something here. So you can see here this works all quite nice. What I want to do is I want to have a half Doughnut slice or Doughnut chart. So what I need to do is I need to change here the what we call the rotation and the circumference. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, for the options here, I'm going to say here circumference, and this allows us to define how much the rotation will be, or the circle, how big will be. And then I will just say this will be 180 degrees. If I save that, what will happen is it will get now only a half slice instead of a full slice, because by default it is 360. Then what I want to do is I want to rotate this to here. So that will mean that this Doughnut slice starts at here, and we have then a proper half rainbow arc basically. So I'm going to say here rotation, and the rotation will be, this is a 90, this is 0, or sorry, this is 0, well, this is 90 degrees, another 90, and then another 90, so 3 times 90 is 270. Let's do that, save. There we are. Now we get this here, but as you can see here, the canvas is a bit of as a rectangular. That's a default, or sorry, not a rectangular, it's a square. By default it is a square, and we have too much white space up and down. That is not allowed, or I want to remove that. To do that, I'm going to change the shape of it. So I'm going to say here in the options, aspect ratio, and I'll say value of 2. This would indicate it will be equal to a rectangle or a bar chart. So you have the rectangle shape here, as you can see here. So what we could do as well is to hide, if we want to hide this, so we have only this arc being shown, we can say here transparent. I'm going to grab that here, put it in there, save. There you are. As you can see, it doesn't show anymore, but of course we have this here. So if we don't want these, we could hide by doing basically this, these two tooltips, because you can see here the tooltips, they do show here. So we could say we don't want to load these, or we just disable them. So if I don't load them, which makes probably the most sense, it will not show. However, if you might need them for some reason, what we're going to do here then in the options, we're going to say here plugins, then we're going to say here the tooltip, and I'm going to say here enabled. We set it on false. If I save this, refresh, you can see here it doesn't work anymore. We can set this on true, save, then it shows it again. And then we can do as well for the legend, and we're going to say legend display false. There we are, save that. Now it doesn't show that one, the tooltip is shown. Let's set this on false. So you can see the different terms. One is display, other one is enabled. And there we are, that's it.